Welcome back to another episode here on our YouTube channel. My name is Brian Gallagher, physical therapist and professional practice coach. And what I want to talk to you about today is something that I learned 2 decades ago, I guess. I've been a physical therapist now for 29 years. Actually 30 years come this May. So time has gone by, a lot of experience. And in the beginning, it was really about trying to gain agreement with my patients and try to gain agreement with my coworkers and do so by being, sugarcoaty, agreeable, flexible. These things kind of come to mind, right? And there's nothing wrong with that, but to a point. And the point becomes when you turn into a doormat. And I totally was a doormat when I started my practice. I literally just wanted everyone to be happy. I wanted to put chocolate cake for dinner out every single night. And so you want to have full-time pay and benefits at 35 hours a week? Fine, that's fine. You don't have to work a 40-hour week. I'll just give you a 35 hours a week schedule, and I'll keep your salary the same and keep it. 2 weeks vacation is not enough to survive in these days. Well, okay, we'll change our policies. Why don't we make it a 3-week vacation for anybody who's been out, 2 years out of school? New grads get 2 weeks. Everybody else gets 3. I was literally like bend and twist and bend and twist. And what it was I didn't want to have the confrontation. I was afraid of losing staff. I was afraid of losing money. I was afraid of the financial risks that would come with me, not keeping my people happy, not saying what they needed to hear, not giving them what they were asking for. I literally just became like a mini Santa Claus my first, 3 years in practice. And then I realized continuing education classes and clinical practice was not going to make this practice a better practice. Maybe you're there, maybe you're not. I cognited like, wow, I'm the CEO of this practice. I need to get CEO training. I need to get on top of running this practice. And my job now is organizing the structure, implementing the standard operating procedures, and enhancing the quality of experience, not only for my patients, but for my staff. And the only way to do that was to be respected and to be followed. So I needed to lead, and people needed to take confidence in me in order to lead. I realized when I came back from my training that every time I was Mr. Yes Man and every time I was Mr. Gumby Flexible and willing to give everybody what they wanted, what it was doing was the undercurrent of that was it was giving them the impression that I don't really stand for anything, that I don't really mean what I say. Like if you push hard enough on me, I'm going to cave in and give it to you anyways. And the result of that is a degree of disrespect. And that's what I was breeding inside my practice. Once I spent like over $100,000 getting management training, and I cognited like, wow, I'm a CEO who happens to be a PT. I'm not a PT who happens to be a practice owner. I'm the opposite. Being the leader, owner, director, manager, organizer, administrator of my organizational practice with my people included was far more important and far senior to me thumping the side of a treatment table treating the next patient. Not that I didn't enjoy that, not that I love being a therapist, don't get me wrong, but it's just not as important or relevant to the success of my practice as it was me devoting my time and attention to being a better owner and CEO. The reason why so many of you don't do that, or like I wasn't doing that, was because that's what we knew. We didn't have the skills in that area. I wasn't comfortable in that area. So I would rather go back to the things that I did well, which was treating patients. Once you realize if you fill that vacuum of unknown with total knowledge, you're going to accelerate in that area. You're going to be a much better leader and owner and communicator. And the bottom line, integral, basic element that's going to lead you to success in that is your ability to confront. Now, I didn't say confrontation. I said confront. Confront, confront, confront. There is nothing wrong with understanding and feeling that the mood is off or that tone of voice wasn't right or whatever, and pulling somebody aside and saying, you know what? I kind of got the sense that you weren't in agreement with what we're doing, and you kind of gave me the impression you were a little resentful toward it. What's going on with you? Like, what's happening there? Like, what's the emotion you're having right now? Like, how are you feeling about that? And, oh, no, I'm fine. It's good. Well, even that is shrugging me off, which tells me even more so that I'm right, that it's not good. Like, let's be honest, right? The relationship here can only grow in your favor if we can communicate and if I can get you to actually share with me, transparency breeds trust. And that's a very, very important concept. But you can't get there if you're not willing to confront what's in front of you, right? So I had an owner just say to me the other week, literally a couple weeks ago, like, Brian, in talking to you, I realized I've been setting my standards too low. And I'm like, that's right. They're your standards. It's like getting married. And then on the wedding night, she says, well, you're cool with an open relationship, right? I mean, I probably should have brought it up earlier, but I don't think one man, one woman for 40, 50 years is the way to go. I mean, that's not how other species do it, right? So I just wanted to and then you're like, what? What's happening right now? So that's an example, bad example maybe, of lack of confront, not confronting until, again, there's nowhere to go, right? You have to not let things go like that in your clinic. The minute you see the minute you see a therapist who's not upholding their end of the bargain clinically efficient wise or productivity wise or quality of care wise or any of the statistical metrics that you put on in that position, you must address it right away. But not confrontational, not in a fight. It's meant to be a straight up confront, no sugarcoating, let them know where you stand, but always communicating in manners. Always in manners. And that's the secret to success. You can say anything to anyone if you do it as you're doing it, you're thinking to yourself, what I like about this person. And believe me, there are some people I struggle to find things that I like about them. And for the most part, they're not in my life and I don't have them around me. So they shouldn't be around you either. But in time to time, building a business, you'll get somebody there and then you find out they're not who you thought they were. They kind of snowed you a little bit. And you have to have some degree of admiration for the person, first of all, when you're talking to them. Secondly, you have to say, how can I present this and communicate this in a way that they can easily have? That's in manners. But how can I say what needs to be said and mean what I say? And that's my advice to you in this week's episode of how to be a good manager with the key ingredient to success, a high degree of confront. Learn how to confront, learn how to communicate. You will bring about agreement, understanding, and you will march forward into the top 10% of private practices in this nation because it'll be very easy for people to follow you because you're demonstrating great leadership. I hope this was helpful. Tune in. We got a series going here, and I'm going to cover some more executive abilities upcoming.